Hi, this video is an Ahrefs step-by-step guide, and I've been using Ahrefs for many years now, probably on something like 5 or 6 years. It's been so long. I'm on a legacy plan that they don't even offer anymore, which is sort of a mix of the light and the standard in terms of the features I get. And I'm gonna show you in this video how I use Ahrefs, how it's one of my favorite SEO tools, and there's specific things that it does very, very well, and there's actually some new things that they've been moving into over the last year or two that takes the place of a lot of other tools, so you don't necessarily need to pay for them. And I'm going to talk about that as well in this one. But I'm going to give you a step-by-step look at some of the major features. Let's start with what I would primarily use Ahrefs for. So let's say someone comes to me and they say, I want to rank for Dallas personal injury attorney. Okay, Ahrefs is going to be extremely useful in understanding what it's going to really take and explaining to them kind of where they're at in terms of how far along they are. And what Ahrefs was originally created for was link building. And links to a website are going to be the primary determining factor for competition. It's not just more links is better. It's also about the quality of links, but I tend to use just sort of the overall referring domains, live referring domains, as I'm going to show in Ahrefs, as a general metric for competition. And I look at a bunch of different domains and kind of take that in aggregate. I wouldn't look at one and say that this one thing tells us what we're looking for. Not only that, but I'm going to skip like Super Lawyers, Expertise.com, Justice.com. Man, this is this is kind of good and kind of bad. When I see this, I'm not going to put this into Ahrefs. First of all, it's going to use up more of my kind of credits and pulls because it's going to pull tons and tons of links. Second of all, if there's a local lawyer, they're not really competing with FindLaw, especially when you consider the maps. Look at what I see. It used to be you could see the first couple regular organic results, and now you can't. You can only really see one or two of the maps organic results. So this means that maps is more important. Which is a whole other discussion in of itself. I've got a lot of videos about maps on my channel, so you can go ahead and check that out. I do a lot of maps SEO, and maps is integrated with the regular organic, but that's outside the scope of this video. We're gonna pull out a couple of people. We're gonna pull out Mullen & Mullen, Dallas Severe Injury Lawyer, and Injury Attorney in Dallas, and we're gonna look at them in Ahrefs and see what we can find. So. We're going to look at the primary metric that I'm going to look at right here is going to be this live referring domains. Okay. I don't really care about like what they used to have. I really just care about what they, at least right now, if I'm looking at a snapshot of right now. Sometimes this trajectory here can be useful, especially for if this was like a potential client. And I can say, hey, it looks like you did a campaign for links or somebody spammed you starting this time. Now, keep in mind that this is not, no tool is going to be 100% accurate in all cases. But when it comes to finding links, in my experiences, Ahrefs is the best by far. They have the fastest crawler, and there's a lot of tools out there that have a super slow crawler, and they can go months without seeing links if they ever find the links. But that doesn't mean that Ahrefs catches everything. So don't like take everything in here. This means they have exactly 509 referring domains across all places on the internet. That's not necessarily accurate. Okay, so that's one of the places we would start, and we can look at their actual backlinks. And what I like to see is sort of their words here that are relevant to what they want to rank for. So I want to see Dallas, I want to see attorney, I want to see injury type stuff here, and the more relevant stuff on this side, the more I like it. Anchor text still matters. It used to matter a whole lot more, but it matters less. And so you also want to see what I would call a natural distribution of anchor text, which starts with sort of like branded and URL anchors at the top, which is what they have, and then maybe some keyword anchors or a mix of kind of random and keyword anchors down below, which seems to be what they have. Now, this is not completely accurate because maybe they've also, if all this was at the top and they were still ranking really high, you'd be like, wait, they have 100 personal injury lawyer Dallas anchor texts. Well, number one, first of all, you got to check to see if they're do follow. So what you'd probably want to do if you're looking at anchor texts is filter for do follow, because no follow anchor text doesn't really matter. But also, what you could do, what you're not going to be able to know is if they've disavowed these links. So maybe that they were over optimized, they disavowed the links, and now they're ranking really well. But this is something I would look at, and I really like how they display this. I think it's the best of all the tools in terms of displaying anchor text, and also external domains. Their domain and URL rank is okay. It's I don't think it's like super telling any more than any other kind of overall metric. Keep in mind that it is an exponential metric, so going from like 40, let's say this was 43 to 45 to 63, that's 2 orders of magnitude. So that's like 100 times more powerful in terms of a domain rank. So that's something to keep in mind there. Okay, let's look at a few more of those. Here we go. 66 referring domains. Now they have a much more aggressive domain name, so they don't need as many domains. So they have 500. They have almost a 10th, and they're ranking right below there. 157, again, they have a more aggressive domain name, so it makes sense that they have less referring domains. One of the biggest things that I like that they're getting into is tracking the keywords, the organic keywords, and what they actually rank for. And let's go, they had actually if we go back here, it'll say organic traffic 965. Let's look at what the tool that I've used for a very long time for organic traffic is SEMrush. 996. That's actually really close. Traffic cost for pay-per-click, $52,000 versus $65,000. That's actually pretty close. And I mean, this is already a rough estimate. So so far I'm liking that. And again, we go back to like what actual keywords is going to be useful for figuring out keywords for my potential client, but also showing them, hey, this is what, if we look at this and they go, yes, I want to rank for all of that except for like the branded searches, then we know this is like a direct competitor, and we know that the value estimates of this traffic are pretty good in showing a potential client, hey, they're making $65,000 a month worth of traffic is going to be an important part of the sales process. Let's look at a few more real quick. So this one says organic traffic 564. 3,200. So that's different. It's weird they have like Dallas Backpage. I'm not sure if that's accurate. They're giving it a lot of traffic from there. So actually, if we were to take that traffic out, 27. Let's see, that's about 2,900. It's really only 300 per month. So it's much closer. Because I don't think that that's going to be important or accurate. So in fact, actually, Ahrefs, I think, was better there. 2,300 organic traffic for this one, 2,900, so they're very close. For at $206,000, 151,000 on the same order. So when Ahrefs first released this organic traffic part, I found it to be pretty inaccurate, and I think they've gotten a lot better at it. And so I'm very seriously considering canceling my SEMrush tool, just because Ahrefs does this, and to be able to see this traffic in the same way that I would already be seeing the data with SEMrush is very useful. At the same time, one thing I really like about SEMrush, I love this graph. And so I don't really, let's go to organic keywords. We don't really have, let's see if we see like movements. And some of this might be new to me. I don't use this super often. We'll give it, yeah, so it's not giving me, it's not giving me like a graph. Let's see if we can, see, it's just doing the keywords. It's not giving me a graph of the, maybe if we go organic search. Oh, here we go, organic traffic. Okay. So let's see. Let's go back to Mullen. Let's go here. So we're going to look at organic search and all time. So it's kind of up and then flat. Let's see what SEMrush says. So this one goes all the way back to 2012. So they've got more data. This one doesn't go back as far. Ahrefs is a newer tool. And I don't know if obviously haven't been tracking it for as long. But let's see, somewhere around mid 2017, generally they've been sort of flat. And I think that's pretty accurate. So that's useful. Again, they don't have as much data, and so I think you can still get some of this graph with a free account. It varies. So that's one. This is one of the most useful things to me right here, along with this data. So that kind of leads me to maybe continue paying for it. But it's still, you could, if you're a beginner, using this graph from Ahrefs is going to be really useful. We also have the paid search. I don't really pay much attention to that, so I'm not going to speak on that very detailed. They added a rank tracker, so you can add your own tools, your own websites, and this is actually my subscription. I got a standard legacy plan, so you can see it's just got the limits are a little bit odd. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so they've also got a crawl. It's been crawling my site for the last 15 minutes, which is actually, I don't remember seeing this before. I'm not a big fan of these kinds of things. This is their site audit part. Just because most of the time when I see like a site audit or like a site report, like an automated site report, it leads me to it's not very useful to me. Let's put it that way. We'll check out the site structure there. I'm wondering what that'll say, because this is new. Let's see, path. Yeah, that's Dallas SEO consultant. Actually, this could be useful to site structure, because that is something that I do talk about with my clients. It's to me, it's just kind of like an overflow of data, but at the same time, sometimes there can be things that it can find, like if there's broken links or something that could be useful. Keyword Explorer. So if I let's go back to the beginning. So you put something in here, Dallas personal injury lawyer. Let's do attorney. Sure. And we want to see their ideas. Now, this is bad. The fact that you can export it is useful. They do have the keyword volume. I don't know. This is kind of weird right here, 0 to 10. This must be somebody doing some sort of weird searches. So that's kind of odd that they would pull that in there. And I do pay for Longtail Pro, so maybe this could replace that, because they do have. If I click here, I can do a new list. Obviously, I haven't been using this. This is also pretty new. Again, they're trying to expand into things. They have the Content Explorer. So I search engine optimization. We're looking for essentially popular content. This is like, there's another tool. I can't remember what it's called. There's another tool that does this. So again, they're kind of taking what other like internet marketing tools and putting them into Ahrefs, which I applaud, and actually adds more value to the tool. And if you look at like SEMrush, they're trying to do the same thing. They have like backlinks analysis, but I don't find their tools beyond like the organic search and the paid search to be very useful at all. They're not nearly as good. The organic keywords and the organic traffic in Ahrefs is much better than the backlinks analysis at SEMrush, if that makes sense. So there's a lot to be used here. For the most part, I would focus on backlinks. Oh, and one more thing for those of you who stick around. Here's a really, really great tip for finding this is a really useful tool for various things, but one of the most common things it'll do, especially when someone comes to me and they say they've done a website redesign and their rankings went down, this is the first place I go, and almost always what I'll see is, let's say, so this page has a lot of links, and what sometimes will happen is it was an old page. Let's say, actually, you'd put in the previous domain, so they changed domains, all right, or they changed designs, either one, and let's say they changed the design, they changed the URLs, and now this 404s. So they changed the URL of this, but then they didn't 301 redirect it. So all of the links going here, the value of that goes poof. Okay, and so that's what happens when you have a 404. And this is a really common thing I see, and Ahrefs can pick this out really quickly. And it doesn't happen a lot, but when people have come to me and they've talked about that, and I'm like, hey, I found this really easy thing. I mean, I could export this and do a through and redirect in like 5 or 10 minutes setup, especially if they have WordPress, and solve the problem almost immediately of why they had the rankings drop. And it kind of blows their minds. And this tool is really good at that. And there's a whole lot of other tools in here. I don't use it all. There's so many valuable tools. I think Ahrefs is one of the best SEO tools, and they've worked really hard over the last couple of years in expanding, as I've shown here. I don't even use it all, but I'm looking to use it, and I think it's really useful. So let me know if you, that's all I got. Let me know if you like this video. Please like and subscribe. If you have any questions or there's other ways in which you use Ahrefs, please let me know in the comments below. I'd like to know. And thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.